Okay, this video is on a song by Thursday. They're a band from New Brunswick, New Jersey. The song's called Porcelain. It debuted in 1999. One of the reasons why the Illuminati like New Jersey so much for actors and for also music is due to the fact that New Jersey in numerology equals 33, and they like the number 33 for a number of reasons, as I have explained before. And if you look at it like this, I mean, it's a really popular spot for music and actors. Music, like bands such as John Bon Jovi's from there, Bruce Springsteen, Saves the Day, The Misfits, and this band, and many others. There's a lot of underground bands in New Jersey that are quite good too. So it's a very happening spot for music, so to say. So we'll get into it with this song here. So the band Thursday equals 9 in Pythagorean numerology. And then the song Porcelain is 7 in Pythagorean numerology. So 9 times 7 is 63, or it's like saying 666 kind of. So that's, I don't know if they were going with that with this name here, but they might have. So that kind of equals something there. So I basically picked out the lyrics that I thought were important, and I decided to put them into a video. So this isn't the entire song, but this is just the good stuff. So we have, in the first lines of the song, we have City of Blue Tile, Figure in Ceramics. What I'm thinking that they're saying here, oh, by the way, and I'm also going to get into the fact that, okay, this song, Porcelain, and then Murder by Numbers by the Police, is, these are the only songs I've ever discovered that have the same theme. The theme is Murder by Numbers, basically, and it's an Illuminati song, basically. So, just to get off topic here for a second, this song and Murder by Numbers by the band The Police from the UK, these are the only songs that I've really come across that have this kind of meaning to it. So we'll get into it. So let's get into the first lines of lyrics again. So City of Blue Tile, what they might be referring to is the Ishtar Gate in Babylon. It's made out of blue tile. I'm getting kind of creative with this. So I'm not too sure about what they're going for with these first two lines here. And then Figure in Ceramics, maybe they're going with an idol, an idol of a pagan god, perhaps. Hard to tell, really. They might be referring to something else, And then it's talking about when we reach out, grab for porcelain. So what it might be referring to, it's referring to when you're in the Illuminati, you try to reach out to people and try to get some help. And instead you grab for porcelain. And then you'll see in the next line what I mean when they're grabbing for porcelain. In the next couple lines, why they're grabbing for porcelain. And then it says in the next line, but it's too fragile to hold, and it shatters into our hand, into slits that denote your wrists. So this is an emo band, by the way, so you're going to get stuff like this in the song where it's like, very, this song is very melancholic. So you'll get this throughout the entire song. You'll get, these really depressed kind of lyrics. So what they're saying here is that, you're trying to reach out and get help, but you grab for porcelain. Instead, the porcelain's going to be used to kill yourself with. So, and that's kind of like one of the ways out of the Illuminati is suicide. And I've seen this in many songs, such as Hotel California, and many movies, such as Ouija, The Summoning. It's kind of like an Illuminati theme. I've noticed this quite a bit. So, and the other thing that's interesting to note is that considering that I am one of the Illuminati's prophets, they regard me as one of their prophets. Porcelain. It's interesting to know, I should say, that I was breaking apart a toilet maybe sometime around this time when the song debuted, or slightly before, in 1999, maybe. It's possible that I was. I took I'm trying to think of the time frame, whether or not it's the correct time. I got to think back then. Because they'd like to feature me in songs and put me in other places and take pieces of my life and put them in. And this might be an example of that. I'm trying to think of whether or not this is actually about me. I'd have to think of the time scale of whether or not I broke that toilet then. I was breaking apart a toilet a long time ago outside and putting it and then not put it in the dumpster after that. What I should have done was just place the entire thing in the dumpster, but me and my friend decided we wanted to break the thing apart instead to have fun. I'm just trying to think of whether or not I was doing this in 1999 or 1998. It's a possibility, yeah, because, and it would make sense because why it would shatter in my hand. I actually cut myself with the toilet. I remember breaking it apart. We were just doing this for fun as kids, you know. I was young back then. I was in 1999. I was like, I was 15 in 1999. Basically, yeah, I could have been breaking apart a toilet. And in 1990, I was also 14, so I was a young kid back then, give or take, because this song could have been, you know, written after the fact that I did that. I just kind of don't have a good time frame since it was so long ago, and so it would make sense that that they would put this in here because I broke a toilet. I did cut myself on it, trying to grab the pieces of it and put it in a bag, and so maybe that's why they put this in this song. I don't know. So we're going to the next line here. Death is the answer to calculations composed of motions that are the same, secret and different, a missing alphabet with a message for us. What they're referring to here is that death is kind of, you know, the denouement. It's the finale, you know. Death's the answer basically to the calculations that they've come up with, the numerology that they've come up with of murder through numbers, basically murder by numbers, I should say. So murder with a purpose. Death has a design, as they say in the movie Final Destination. So this is where you get the red flag that this is a murder by numbers song. And then emotions that are the same. They're referring to the fact that a lot of people maybe go through the same thing, kind of. They're syncing up, actually. It's actually them syncing up things that you do on a day-to-day basis that are then used to murder people with, kind of thing. And this happened with me after I broke up with my girlfriend in a way that was not really too pleasant. They then used that against me and then eventually had her and her mother killed, is what I think happened. And let's just try to look at this closely here. And then we have secret and different. This is, of course, referring to the fact that the secret societies or really high-ranking individuals in the Illuminati are responsible for doing things such as this. They're different as well. I mean, they're a counterculture. They're very different compared to the dominant culture. So that's kind of a red flag there. And then a missing alphabet. This goes back to the calculations over here. So a missing alphabet. They're referring to numerology here with a message for us. And this is, I didn't discover that there was a message for me in what happened with Sarah and Emiliano until years and years later when I finally got their last name and figured out about the occult. I didn't really learn about the occult and the Illuminati until around, I'd say, 2013 and 2014. I really started to get into it. And now I have maybe the Illuminati. May I have enough knowledge to be an Illuminati adept? I don't know. I don't want to be an Illuminati adept. I'd rather believe in God. But so anyway, so that's what this is. I mean, this is talking to you about murder by numbers, talking about calculations composed. They plan out these machinations. They're secret and different. It's a secret society and or a secret group. Missing alphabet. Alphabet that the victim's not really aware of. The victims are sometimes not aware of these people being murdered on their behalf. I wasn't really aware of it until recently. It took me a while to figure it all out. And I'm almost certain that this family was murdered on my behalf. So missing alphabet with a message for us, and they tell a message through the numbers, murder by numbers. And then we have when people die, they take a piece of us with them is the next lyric. It's they're trying to kill multiple birds with one stone here, as they usually do. Because you could also say that this is if they take a piece of us with them, it's like, you know, when people die in general, you know, when friends of yours die, you know, a piece of you gets taken away because you feel sad, you know. So that's probably why they put that there. So they're trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. But what this is actually saying, if you know what the Illuminati are about, you know that they put pieces of you, of me, in a murder, basically, or in other people's murders. I'm actually involved with a lot of people who got murdered, and then pieces of my life are involved with their murder. So that's what they're saying here. This is what the song's about. So, and then the next line, they're saying rescind this line. They're saying rescind maybe the last line, or maybe rescind these lines in general, because they're meaning that they said too much. They disclosed too much, And sometimes you'll find that as a theme in other songs, such as Sarah Slean's song Parasail. She says, the rest have requested I dumb it down. She says, she basically says, after saying her lines, a couple lines in her song, she says that the rest have requested I dumb it down, meaning that, the rest have requested I don't say these lyrics, but instead I put them in here. So when he's saying rescind this line, he's saying he said too much about the cult that he's involved with, or might or might not be involved with, because considering that most of the talent, some of the talent that actually performs the songs are not exactly in on it. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It's a case-by-case basis, is what I consider. They're not all exactly Illuminati cult members. So anyway, so that's what they mean by rescind this line. Take this line back, delete these lines. We shouldn't have this in the song, kind of thing. And then sever all ties is a common Illuminati message, meaning you're alone and you're isolated. Sever all ties, because now you're part of this select group in which it's a rite of initiation involves alone time. That's why it says sever all ties. It also says sever all ties because when you're in the Illuminati, you mostly associate with the Illuminati. So sever all ties. That's why that's written there. And then the next one is the silent line of Skyline. Here we go. Of Skylit Eye Show. There we go. I have to say that correctly. The silent line means be quiet. It's a common Illuminati motif to have your finger over your mouth in a common, and it's almost universal be quiet kind of pose. And they have this in a lot of photo shoots with models and different bands and in show business. So be quiet about what you know. Be quiet about the abuse that's occurred to you, the silent line. And this is referring to possibly, I'm getting creative with this here, is that the eye is mentioned in the book of Matthew over and over again. It's mentioned throughout the Bible. It's a common Illuminati decoration, if you will. So the what they're referring to here, though, is what on Enter the Stars channel, he discusses that through the eye you blast light. It's kind of like a disco ball is what he's trying to refer to it as. You have light coming in from one side, and it's hitting the ball, and it's reflecting. And the light is kind of like the optic nerve of the brain. Even though light comes through the iris, is supposedly the light of God is what he's referring to on his channel, Enter the Stars, is that the light of God somehow comes through the optic nerve of the eye, if you can visualize this without me doing a drawing here. So that's maybe what they're referring to here of Skylight Eye Show. They're referring to the constellations, possibly. It's hard to tell what they're referring to here. With a disco ball too, you have it's kind of like what goes on in the sky at night. You have two rotating constellation sets, one in the southern hemisphere or the outer part of the dome, as I say, and one in the northern part of the dome on the Access Mundi side. They're both rotating on opposite directions to each other, and so it's kind of like making a disco ball pattern. If you were to throw light onto a disco ball, it brings the constellations all over the place rotating. So I don't think that's how they're making the constellations, of course, but it's kind of giving you an idea of what they're trying to talk about here. Is that there's something about the eye that has to do with the sky. And so I can only go that far. You have to watch Enter the Stars channel to get a better idea of what this line's referring to, because I can only explain so much. I kind of vaguely know what this line's about and what they're talking about. So just refer to his channel if you want more info on that, because I only can do so much here on my own. So anyway, and this next line says, try and live, live 4 times. So what they're saying is try to have a good time, try to make the most of your time while you're alive. Try to enjoy yourself, because you're learning a lot about it. You're an Illuminati adept and you're learning a lot, and so most of your time spent doing boring things that people would find very boring. And so that's why it's saying try and live a life without friends too, alone and isolated. So try and live, and then maybe lives here due to the fact that you could get murdered at some point. So try to live, because maybe you're due to possibly getting killed at some point. So this is the idea of the song here. So if you have any further suggestions about what you think this song's about, please leave them in the comments below. I hope you all have a blessed day, and take care.